Good afternoon, everyone. 1 second. There we go. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get to the JRC in a moment, but first the disclaimers and the trigger warnings. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are going to be there in the description box. We have Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Neuroplastics article where they surveyed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program, the same one that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center threatened with a defamation lawsuit. They didn't remove their article from their own website. Obviously, Neuroclastic refused. Please read the article and share it on all your social media. As always, we do also have Neuroclastic's GoFundMe linked in the description box as well. If you could give towards it, we would appreciate it. If not, please share it just in case the JRC ever does see through with their threat. Trigger warnings: when we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please utilize the headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child's 16 and younger and they're watching this, parental supervision is very much advised. Now we're going back to where we left off yesterday. After going through that little paragraph, we skipped over a lot because it was simply the JRC constantly repeating themselves. You see, the JRC has this absolutely sadistic love of constantly repeating all the behaviors of their students. And they are barely skating the line and violating HIPAA law while doing so. Real close to the edge. While also, as always, not really understanding nor comprehending the idea of a mask that most of our neurodivergent asses learn how to do out of necessity, learn how to do it early so that we can be left alone. It's also used because most of us have been traumatized or abused in one way, shape, or form or another. So, it also helps hide things. Like I said, if you met me inside school when I was younger and going through the nightmare of my childhood, you wouldn't have known it because I masked. I at least made attempts at gaining friendships for myself. I was always a teacher's pet. Always had nice words for others. Do you think that was really because I was happy and had better quality of life? No. I was trying to survive. Show people and reflect back at them the image that they want to see of you. And the idea is hopefully they will then let up and leave you alone so you can be your full autistic or otherwise neurodivergent self in fucking peace. But yeah, JRC's like, but look, we have all these signs that obviously means it's working, and you don't know. The fuck I don't. The fuck I don't. Remember, JRC? I was that kid. If anybody knows about masking to hide what's going on behind closed doors, it's going to be me. But anyways, we're going to break into the new paragraph here, so prepare yourself for more horrific gaslighting, horrifying run-on sentences, because for reasons that continue to elude me, in spite of all the mysterious cash that the JRC seems to have on hand, they never seen fit at any point in time to at least run their bullshit through a proofreader before forcing us all to endure their insanity. Be prepared. That's all I'm saying. Alright, further, many of the JRC parents have testified in detail or submitted comments explaining how they regularly visit JRC and monitor their children's treatment, have tried applications from the GED on themselves, and observed no adverse effects to their children. It's still anecdotal, JRC. Want to know what makes it anecdotal? Because it's based off of parental observations and not actually off of real medical documentation from professionals. Now, what do I mean by that? JRC, are any of you or your staff parents? Let me tell you why I asked that. You see, when kids become teenagers, they begin to hide shit from their parents. Lie, get argumentative, confrontational, sneaky. Yes, even the neurotypicals. Oh shit, who am I kidding? Especially the neurotypicals. The fact of the matter is, most of our neurodivergent asses are more likely to obey the rules than our neurotypical counterparts that you all have this bizarre, weird, cultist-like worship of. Okay? So, why do I bring this up? Because the parents have said that they've seen the changes in their kid and that it's good, and they can see the difference and they watch over the treatments. You're so full of shit. So utterly, mindlessly full of shit. Allow me to explain. Parents will often see even their neurotypical kids at least do some form of masking, projecting at our parents what they themselves want to see in us as a means to either hide shit we're doing, or so that it will hurry the parents along and we can go back to doing whatever the hell we were wanting to do. Okay? Do you know how many parents really have no clue when it comes to their teenagers' actual lives? In spite of being home at night, every night at 6 p.m., for the love of God, watch some young adult TV shows sometime. Okay? Good God. But your mom knows you better than anyone does, Tim. You're damn right she does. Do you think that she correctly assessed my moods, what I was up to, what I was doing, with whom I was doing it with, all the time? Do you think that everything that I did, she was able to judge it correctly? Now, don't get me wrong. She definitely got a lot more right than a whole lot of other regular parents out there simply because of her field of work. I'll give you that. But there was a lot of shit I was extremely successful in hiding, including the full decade of horrific abuse perpetrated upon me by my stepbrother that went on unabated for years. Years. In spite of her being home at 6 p.m. every single night. Okay? Don't tell me we don't know how to mask to hide things from our parents. Okay? Because at that point, it's not us who is naive here. Just saying. Alright? Number two, in regards, well, they've tried the device on themselves and they haven't seen adverse effects on their children. There is a mother by the name of Cheryl McCollins who would like a word. There is a parent from New York who her child was shocked so badly that forth went the group of individuals that, as you all know, I like to call the group that shows up unannounced when things go wrong. I think she would also like a word too. We know from documentation from doctors, from prior students, not just in Massachusetts, but the reasons why you were kicked out of Rhode Island and out of California when you were the Behavioral Research Institute. I think those parents of the 6 dead kids whose blood you all have all over your hands would also like a word. Because I call bullshit. First off, the paperwork that you all have, regards to shocks and everything, is so goddamn vague that it literally means whatever the direct care staff that used the device on the kid said it does. Okay? Yeah. Do you think most of those parents realize that you will shock their children if they stand up for longer than 3 seconds without verbal permission? Because my mom would have buried you inside your own school after rescuing all the students. Just saying. Number two, when they have people like the parents try the GED on themselves, it is always said at the very lowest setting. Number two, the parents aren't cursed to wear that device all day, every day, with someone who is not themselves in full control as to when that device is going to go off and cause them intense pain. In regards to no adverse effects, explain to me why there are doctors with an ER documentation that reported they did not find a single unbruised or scabbed piece of skin on the students that they were treating. And in fact, ordered you to remove that device entirely for several weeks so that the kids have a chance to heal. Does that sound like no adverse effects to you? Even if you don't want to take my word for it, all you gotta do is watch that video on what they did to Andre McCollins. It's right there in front of you on camera. There is a shit ton of things that you can argue. But back in 2002, we didn't have like high quality AI. Okay? You watch that video and then still have these parents try to convince me that there's no adverse effects. I'm sorry, JRC, but I'm just not as stupid as you. Sorry. All right. We mask to either get someone off our backs or protect themselves from individuals that try to force us to act neurotypical or else. Okay? I know we do it because I did it. All of my friends within the neurodivergent rights movement reported acting similar. Okay? We're not stupid. I am not going to ignore what I've seen with my own eyeballs on that Andre McCollins video surveillance tape of what you monsters did to him in 2002. And say, well, but these other parents said there's no adverse effects. So obviously, to quote one of my favorite lines from one of my goats, all hail Groucho, long may he reign. You don't understand. I am a massive Marx Brothers fan. Huge. But I'm going to use one of his quotes. Granted, he probably wasn't the first one to say it. Essentially, what the JRC is trying to do here is say, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? Right? All right, we're going to read the last sentence here, and then we'll get ready for the next video. They are capable of communicating with their children and observing signs of distress or injury, if any, in their children. Again. My mom's very good at what she does. And she has a hell of a lot better read on me on most neurotypicals, including those who have been colleagues and worked in the field with me. But even she didn't necessarily see all signs, well, any signs in regards to distress, in spite of the horrifying things that were going on while her and my stepdad were at work. Want to know why? Out of survival, I learned to suppress any form of distress, sadness, anxiety, and anger. And I learned to mask. You see, she was around all the time. But that abuse went on for years. Years. I mean, literally where I used to pray for death. But she didn't know it. Because I hid it. I masked and I suppressed all of those emotions and locked them up tight in a vault inside my head. Which is why my autistic burnout that I had when I was 16 was so bad. Okay? So please, spare me the bullshit. Okay? Alright, folks, on that one, we're going to go ahead and close out for this video. We don't get very many views on this channel. And the few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please, folks, don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. And I'll see you here in a few minutes. Bye-bye, everyone.